and I apologize to the Flanagan family right now. If it was just Davion in the car, she wouldn't be in jail. She would have. It would have never left the juvenile court. This has to do with the boy's last name, and I and the judge saying, "Well, I don't have a blood relationship." Look, I can't explain the speed. Oh, sorry. I can't explain the speed. Again, is this okay? I don't want to trigger anybody in this world that I'm wearing an orange polo. I hope it's not colorblind enough for anybody. He sold drugs, or at least my understanding is he sold marijuana at this time. And if he got pulled over and he had marijuana on him, he would go to jail. I mean, this world's crazy, and there's some crazy stuff that goes on. There's some crazy people in this world.
YouTube streets, Ronnie Blue Eyes, DVS. We're here tonight, man. I'm interested in what we're about to do right now, Ronnie. This is going to be the interview for the father of Mackenzie.
Father, yo, this is what I'm thinking. First of all, right? I hope everybody's having a great night. Welcome to the YouTube Streets podcast. Take a ride with us, right? I'm surprised, bro. I'm genuinely surprised. I'm shocked that she's even letting him speak, because this is one of them rare circumstances where it's clear who wears the pants here, right? And they don't really let him say too much. They got a whole language he knows nothing about. They talk right in front of him, you know what I'm saying? Like over his head, behind his back type shit. So I'm intrigued to see how and why she even let him speak and took the muzzle off.
Well,
So,
I've been trying to get to that too, Ronnie. I've been trying to figure out what is the deal and how are they profiting from him talking, because
right.
he always puts his foot in his mouth. He always says some
Yeah,
shit that he's not supposed to say, but it does show the true colors. I think the Netflix
exactly.
documentary, those producers kind of trained them in a PR way to fucking come out here and be complete idiots and fools of themselves.
Yeah.
And I think clap to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the
Shout out to those
trickery.
guys.
Yeah. That was a move and a half, bro.
Yeah, because they definitely pulled some Machiavellian shit on their asses.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm intrigued to even see what he has to say, right?
Yeah,
I'm
and
just surprised they let him speak, bro.
shout out to the true crime this week, man. An interview with the Steve Shriller, uh, psycho. Uh, allegedly father. He's got some shit going on. But yo, let's get right to it. Whenever you're ready, Ronnie, man. Shout out to the chat. We're here. Shout out to
Yeah.
everybody.
DVS stuck in the system, blue eyes, scandalous squad. Hit that like button if you like something. Let's ride.
Yeah, man. Everybody be safe, man. The weekend's coming up. A lot of people out there doing a lot of things that they shouldn't. And thinking they're a lot more responsible than they are. So just keep your head on a swivel, and everybody enjoy themselves. Sit back and analyze this shit.
Early morning hours of July 31st, 2022, 17-year-old Mackenzie Shirilla was driving a car through Strongsville, Ohio. This was around 5:30 in the morning. And in the car with her was Dominic Russo, her boyfriend, and their friend Davion Flanagan. Now, what happened next with the accident and Mackenzie being charged with their murder is the subject of a new Netflix documentary called The Crash. Maybe you've had time to watch it and form your own opinion as to what you think happened in the car that night. I have my own thoughts on this, and when the documentary was being produced, I heard from Kenzie's parents, and never had the opportunity to sit down with them. But Steve, Mackenzie's father, reached out to me last week and asked if I'd be interested in an interview, and of course.
See that?
Oh shit! So he reached out to him looking to do an interview. So
This is
he's
what
trying
I
to
was
do some
saying.
damage control because he don't like the way that shit on Netflix was presented.
Well, not only that, I think that they're just in a high of being in the
Yeah,
line, right?
yeah.
They're they're not in the documentary. There's a lot of things that the documentary let be self-explanatory,
Yeah,
and they're not too happy with the way they look. You know what I mean? So I think, like
facts.
you said, damage control, a little PR, But I'm also thinking, they're investing for the future. They're really trying to get something going. There's
Like so.
all kinds of shit going on. GoFundMe's, all kinds of
Yeah.
craziness. So, it's
I'm
a part
just
of the.
surprised she's even letting him do all this.
Well, they're desperate. You got to remember,
Yeah.
by them being in that documentary and being around those producers did a fucking whirlwind of a brainwash on them to think that they're really that important.
Yeah.
Remember, they had to really, get them to be themselves. So
Right.
that didn't help anything either.
Back so.
Of course, I want to hear what he has to say. So I sat down with him yesterday, and we spoke for about an hour, and I want to share that interview with you today. I did learn some new things. There's some new facts about the case that I didn't know that certainly causes me to not really change my opinion, but it does change the way I see the accident itself. So without saying more, here is the interview with Mackenzie Shirilla'S father, Steve. Steve, my first question is, what is it like to be a part of the biggest documentary on Netflix currently?
Wow, it's mixed. I was hoping during this process we would get Mackenzie's story out, or what happened to Mackenzie, and not necessarily what everybody's heard or what everybody keeps gleaning off of misinformation. And I want to say I was promised that it would be fair, but that's what my illusion to what was going on. That I thought they came to us thinking that my daughter is a monster and that she did this and she's hell on wheels and she picked that road and blah blah blah. What the judge said.
So what are we supposed to believe? Because
Right.
we're all seeing the same thing here. We're all seeing the evidence.
I was gonna say it's the evidence. The evidence don't lie. The patterns, the history, right? Her threatening Dom in the past. Her saying she's gonna do this. She's saying she's gonna do that. You better come out the crib, or the past. Excuse me, saying she's gonna crash. And we've seen all this. So it's like they're trying to play off of our intelligence. But dog, we've seen this shit.
Well, really, they're trying. I'm not to correct you or nothing like that, but they're trying to play on our ignorance.
That's what I honestly. That's what I meant.
Yeah. I that's what I kind of figured.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, man, the fact that they keep on sticking to their story
Yeah.
after everything has been presented, it just shows, one, there's a lot of mental health, right?
Yep.
But there's also a lot of selfishness, right?
Exactly.
All around the board. Like the family dynamics are toxic in this whole
crazy.
setup on how this family operates.
100%.
But I think after I started talking,
And you know what? You're correct. My bad. I was just gonna say I meant insult our intelligence. It's almost like he's like blatantly trying to insult our intelligence right here. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, and those who know, you know what I mean? This
If
is
you
all
knew
bullshit.
better, you do better. Yeah.
And I think a mass majority of the viewers and our followers are looking at it at that sense. Like, we can read between the lines and see that this is all fuckery, right? But it's also entertaining in a sense, because how long are you going to keep up this lie and just keep on, thinking that we're going to fucking accept this shit and just automatically hypnotized? We're fucking Mackenzie's innocent. What? That's not going to happen, man. But it's entertaining to watch. For those who know, you know what I mean?
right, talking to us, I think we opened their eyes to, well, maybe there's something funny going on here, and that's where I thought it was. And then when it came out, a lot of the stuff we talked about just wasn't there. There wasn't a lot about the fact that there's no evidence of premeditation, prior calculation or intent. It's not there. And
Hey, Ronnie.
What?
Where are we supposed to just say, yo, we didn't hear and see everything that was presented, right? And it shows data was collected, messages were collected, right? All this stuff was used as evidence. This is how the judge came to her conclusion, right? Because there's a lot of shit they didn't put out, but we know now, right? But at the time of the proceedings in the trial, they kept a lot of shit in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah, it took us some
So
time to learn about the case, and then after covering the phone calls and shit like that, you really gain a different perspective and see it through a whole different lens, especially with the mother and the dynamics, like you said, with the family, etc.
And every troll online can tell me, oh yeah, she did it, she did it, she did it, she did it, all this, and she was speeding down that road and she didn't hit her brakes. Well, she didn't hit her brakes for 4.74 seconds of that ride. That's the only
It only takes.
so
Did
my
that
thing
shit.
is no. Listen, the numbers are what it is. That probably is getting a lot of people like, I don't want to do the math. Oh, what
Right,
are you
right.
saying? What are you saying? It's calculated. Oh, he knows what he's talking about. That 4.7 seconds is fucking bullshit. He pulled that shit out the sky. She didn't fucking step on the brakes at all. Not once. From the time of fucking right before impact, there was nothing.
Right.
Nothing at all. And I just want to point out, right? I'm gonna keep on it. Sorry. I have to get my speech together.
Reiterating, nah. It's frustrating. It's crazy.
Reiterate the fact that you have mentioned this seatbelt thing from the very beginning. It's one of the first things that you noticed when this
Yep.
case was presented, right? And the more that I look at it, I noticed that the steering wheel, the seat, and how close it is for impact, it's almost measured for that fucking airbag to deploy just perfectly where you're cushioned enough like a NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
If you look at her in any other pictures behind that steering wheel of any car, man, that shit is pushed back. She's leaning. She's got one hand on the steering wheel. She is fucking cruising, son. So for her to be buckled up and
Yeah.
and compacted for impact,
Yep.
just goes shows that there is an intent
Yeah.
that
She's
you cannot
bracing,
deny. You cannot deny. She
and it's
embraced
crazy.
that.
It's crazy that you say that because at the time when I first brought it up, I sounded crazy. I listened back to the podcast, and this was months and months ago when we first started covering this case, and motherfuckers was almost looking at me like I was crazy. Like I sounded crazy for even asking if she. I'm like, yo, did she have on her seatbelt? It made all the difference. But now with all this
Absolutely.
time and knowledge and information that we found out, it plays a big part. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the biggest part of the whole thing for me. I think that's what really shows the true intent, man. And
Right.
it looks as if she was bracing for impact.
Yep.
That's how a NASCAR driver would be sitting at a steering wheel to make sure that the impact is,
Yeah, that's wild, bro.
yeah,
But I
that's
know I
why.
sounded crazy, but respectfully, it aged well because now it's like they get they see where I was coming from. At the
Well,
time, I was
that's your
literally
street.
just
That's your streetwise kicking in immediately. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You've been around some crazy ass bros in your lifetime, so have I. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
facts,
Well,
facts.
so
I
you
know what
know,
stage 5 clinger and toxic shit when I see it, like you know what I
yeah,
mean. But I
and
was
I've
I was literally just curious, bro.
absolutely you should be. That should be the a part of the check marks that you go
Right.
down, right? Because um, age factor. We got our own algorithms. We're a little bit older.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We've seen shit. We've been around shit, and you know, it just didn't make sense at the time.
Right.
But great catch, Ronnie.
information they have. 4 points. That's when the black box turned on about 5 or 6 seconds before she crossed Almeida Road and before it went into the building. Something happened in that car that caused that black box to turn on, which was, I think the car from our car expert that we talked to said that the car thought it was flipping over. So the black box turned on and started recording the car information in a non-linear sort of way. And that's important, that non-linear sort of way. And it deployed both side airbags. And I'm sorry, side airbags don't just go pillow fight. It's not a soft explosion. It's a boom. And then there's powder all over there's powder floating in the car, in the cabin of the car.
Are you saying the airbags deployed before the accident?
Both side airbags deployed prior to her car crossing the street to hit the sign to get veered into the building.
That seems like a pretty big piece of information that we didn't get.
Yeah, I wonder why the prosecution didn't want to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, they had it. They got the black box information. The black box is a nonlinear function. It's like an airplane black box, but it doesn't
Yo, hold
record
on.
sound and what's going
So,
on.
have you ever heard of that? The airbags going off before impact.
No,
Because of the speed. Let's be honest. We all went past 95, maybe on the highway, something in the fast lane or something, shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
I've never heard of.
I think a lot of this is a lot of fucking sauce, bro.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of there's a
And
lot
I
of
say,
fucking bullshit in here.
and I say that for one reason, because this is what the second time I heard him bring up the car expert. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a shield in itself, right?
Right.
Because what he's basically saying is that the black box only does things in like intervals, right?
Yeah.
It's like it'll catch things as it goes. And the thing that he's saying that activated was really when she hit that bump,
Right.
those shocks and the impact of that, right at that speed,
Right.
already anticipated there could be a crash. Because
Okay.
usually, if you're going at that speed, you're fucking in the black box. Come on, usually it's some doom of process, right? There's
Yep.
something that's going to take place because you're well beyond the control of taking
On the
this and
return. Right.
yeah,
Right.
point
Right.
of return.
No, I'm
So
picking up what you laying down. We
so
on the same page. I had to ask though.
for him to say that, you know what I mean, it's just the fact there was still no brakes, right? And the fact that the black box turned on because there's really no point of return, right? Because it registered, yo, this mileage and speed that it's going is going to be catastrophe, right? So his case kind of fucking it implodes on itself. It doesn't make any sense. It just sounds fucking good for the average ear because it's like, oh, okay.
In the cabin, it records mechanical aspects of the car, braking, accelerating, blah blah, that kind of stuff. So the only actual evidence, hard, knock on wood, evidence is from 4.74 seconds of that black box.
Yeah.
That's not talking what happened prior.
Yeah.
All the way to when she turned. That's another what?
So everything we saw in that video.
See, this is where it doesn't make any sense. Where she turned, listen, when she was going on that straightaway and she hit that bump at that speed, that's why the black box turned on, right? It recorded from there that 4.7 seconds it took to hit the fucking wall, right? Think about that.
And look at his face, bro. He acting like he just proved a hell of a fucking point. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
listen, a lot of people think they're so intelligent because they've never been around other people that can see through their bullshit and never even fucking challenge their fucking stories and their theories of fuckery.
When
Because
you
a
think
lot
you're
of
the
this is
smartest one in the
wordplay.
room, yeah.
This is a lot of wordplay that they're fucking using. And if you fucking can't decipher what the fuck is really going on, you're gonna get got. They're playing the fucking smallest world of violin, man. It's sickening. I'm just being honest, man. Like I don't want to seem like that guy, but
No. Like I always say, bro. The more you let somebody talk, the more likely they are to say some stupid shit. And I've been saying that for years up here in the podcast. But he is a perfect example of that shit.
yeah, and they know it too, and they still let him talk.
Of her speeding at the
That last moment.
Yeah.
That's after the black box turned on.
and after the airbags deployed.
Mhm.
So
And
it could just be 3 kids in the car freaking out because
Sasquatch could have popped in the car. Anything.
What
That's
is that?
wild work.
So how does that have to do? How does that have to do with it? Oh man, it's late tonight, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. What the fuck does that have to do with anything, bro? Sasquatch presented itself in the car, so they fucking cracked. What are they? Are you implying they're fucking under the influence of some sort of intoxicants?
Psychedelics.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking? He just keeps on fucking it up.
I mean, it would be hard to drive.
Yeah, well, our car expert said, he said nobody anybody in that car would be disoriented because of the 2 explosions and the powder floating around. You wouldn't be able to see. So now I can't explain the speed. Oh, sorry. I can't explain the speed, but that road is a cut through in Strongsville, and the police know it.
Yeah.
Everybody uses it. I've been down that road at a pretty good clip at times. Not saying it's right. I'm not saying, okay.
Man, he is falling on so many different swords.
Yeah.
it's just like, come on, kid, what are you doing,
And like
man?
you
You're
said, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Like he's trying to make a point, but he's grasping at straws. Like he's making no sense, bro. Come on, man.
yeah, he's holding on to sand, man. He's grabbing on the sand.
It's not at all.
It's a shortcut.
It's a shortcut for where she goes. And plus, Dom did not like going down Pro Road. He liked the.
Why didn't he
Yo,
like
that's
going down?
wild work.
Why would you say
Putting it
he
on
liked it?
Dom.
So now you're telling me that the last ride he ever took was down his fucking favorite road? You fucking sick fuck, bro. Yo, these people are fucking ignorant and fucking retarded
Yeah, he's trying
on
to
so many
imply that
levels.
she. Yeah, he's trying to imply that she went that way because
Because
of
Dom
Dom
loved
wanted
it
to
like he's
avoid,
some sort of
like he wanted to
child.
avoid a certain street for a certain reason. What the fuck?
Well, now he was really saying that he liked it because it was a windy road.
He 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 sold drugs, or at least
Bro. All right. And there's a
See
lot of
what I
things going
mean?
on. There's a
That's
lot
what
of
I was.
things going
Yo,
on.
just real quick. That's what I was. You like? Why would you try to? I can only think of one reason why you would want to avoid a certain street other than traffic if you're trying to avoid the boys. Back in the day when you're in the mix of certain shit. So what he's implying is crazy. He's literally trying to throw this young man under the bus, respectfully, no pun intended, with all due respect.
Well, there's a lot going on. And hold on, if we're gonna touch on this, man, I think we might as well do it now, right? Because there's a lot going on with the alleged list of Dom being a little racial, not a little, a lot of racial. He was saying some things allegedly on some text messages,
Really?
chat.
Now
If
that's
you
new to me.
yeah,
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie. I
if
haven't
you
heard
could
that yet.
give a reference, man, that'd be great. It came out in the evidence, I believe, but yeah, there's that. Then this allegation right here about him being a drug dealer, and then
Well, you know
also
what he thinks gonna help is he thinks it's gonna help his case is the fact that they found a little bit of weed, a little bit of mushrooms, and a scale. That scale is gonna be like, oh, that's why he had this. I see where he's going with this shit, but
well,
that's
I
just
mean, the real
crazy.
thing that we should be talking about is the soliciting. Like she was really selling herself, bro. She was a night walker. There's text messages, there's proof, man. She went back and forth with a
That's another
John.
narrative they were saying she was on some call girl shit, street
Yep,
walking shit.
went back and forth with a John allegedly for about 3,500 or better. And it was all access, whatever you want, baby, type
Crazy.
shit. And she was willing to take whatever it was for whatever it was. So this is not new to her. She's not some
Oh yeah,
innocent
yeah.
little
Like I
girl.
said,
You know
she
what I
ain't no
mean?
stranger to danger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of this shit goes back to the parenting, man. I'm not gonna lie, man.
my understanding is he sold marijuana at this time, and if he got pulled over and he had marijuana on him, he would go to jail.
There's lots of police.
And there's a lot of police, and they sit in the shops all the way up Pearl, and they don't really sit back in that industrial parkway. Like I said, it's a cut through. It's a quick cut through, and he always made her go down through that way. Even
Now
He made her.
he's the
That's
aggressor.
strong. That's some
No, this
strong
the
fucking work.
narratives are wild, dude, that they're pushing. It's sick because one, she's younger than him, right? So
Yeah,
they're playing on that.
of course.
Nobody's thinking about that you allowed your daughter at a fucking very young age, not even mental maturity or
Right.
your understanding or anything real in life,
Brain's not
go
even fully developed.
to go live with her boyfriend, and
That you're saying is selling drugs but
allegedly
you're letting
is
her go
not the
live with
best
him.
guy. And this is
Right.
where I go back to. I think it was convenient for them because they knew that Dom was going to take care of her.
Right.
Like she was even though she was soliciting and all that shit.
They passed
The
that
two of
burden
them,
off.
were hustlers, go getters in a sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this was allowable through the parenting.
on her prom, her mom, Christine Russo and Don made her go down that road. She's even, and I wish my cousin passed away a couple months ago, and he could have attested because he was in the car with us. But but my understanding is we go down that road all the time, and even in the bindover or not the bindover discovery, there's a note in it that says we know it's a known cut through. So the police know it, and they even state it. It's a known cut through. So for the judge to go, you chose that road, and blah blah blah. doesn't make any sense because the police, the detective, you know, because he said it, knows it's a cut through. I mean, it's crazy. And they knew, and the drugs, and so Dom would have Mackenzie hold the drugs.
How do you know that? How do you know
Whoa.
Dom was in this?
So now
So
he's saying not only is allegedly, he's saying Dom was allegedly selling drugs, that he knowingly let his daughter go live with this kid when he was selling drugs and making her hold it and
so
making her
this
drive, allegedly.
this is
Come on.
a shout out to Netflix, man. Those producers did one hell of a job on getting him to be fucking comfortable with just
Oh yeah, they,
spewing
and they
and
backed him
saying,
in the corner, so he's out here swinging,
well, not even,
throwing
no,
haymakers and Hail Marys.
I think that they realize in a sense they messed up in the documentary, right? But however that Netflix presented it to them and got them comfortable with being themselves, um, led them to believe that they could actually do this shit without them, right? It
Right.
kind of gave them the bug or the itch, and he really feels like he's PR trained. The mother
That's
knows,
crazy.
obviously. The
False
mother,
hope. Yeah.
yeah, but they did a great job on that because
Right.
it just allows him to expose himself even more and
Yeah.
show how deranged and fucking crazy he is.
On dead dogs. On dogs. Cause,
So
cause listen, he's forcing it, bro. And that's why I said in the beginning, I'm surprised she even let him come up here and speak, cause this is new. On the phone call, she don't let him say a motherfucking thing.
That?
Because my daughter told me.
Yeah.
He told me that he sells marijuana, and friends buy it from him. And I know a lot of.
Yeah.
I know. It's just something that I know.
There's a
After
lot
4
about
years.
his background that didn't come out in Netflix either. I know he has.
Well, I think they're.
He's been in trouble with the law before.
Yes,
right?
and that's the reason why he would have Mercury mule for him, carry his drugs.
Whoa.
So if they got pulled over, she got in trouble for him, but it would be just.
Yo, he said mule. Like, so you're alleging that Dom sold drugs. You knew about it. He allegedly made Mackenzie hold it. You knew about that, but you was cool with it. You was cool with that. You let her live there. You let her hang with him, be with him, chill with him. Like, come on, that's crazy.
this is why I didn't say much, Ronnie. I was gonna go on a rant and go back into that old thing, but this guy's just gonna expose himself and he's just gonna show what we're really fucking thinking, anyways.
a slap on the wrist, basically.
He had a prior charge for assault as well.
I heard something about that. I don't know the full story on it. I think it was some kind of family thing that went on, but I don't.
Any idea why that didn't come out in the Netflix stuff?
I don't know. I don't know why the Netflix people picked what they picked.
Yeah.
Why they edited it the way they edited. I'm not real happy with the way they edited some of the stuff and some of the stuff they picked for me to say. I said what I said in that, and I meant every word that I said. I wasn't trying to hide anything. I was trying to be as honest as I could, but it seemed to be more about me and not about what was happening to my daughter. And
Yo, hold on. There's a lot there. What happened to your daughter? What happened to the two victims, bro? And they didn't pick for you to say anything. You said what you said, just like you just said, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Let him speak because he's gonna fucking expose himself. But the victim mindset and the way he's so meticulous on actually, repeating these, sentences like Mackenzie's the victim here, man. I don't understand how that keeps on flying over everybody's head. Like, it's like, where's the accountability? And the fact that Netflix exposed them the way they did, it just goes to show that your parenting skills fucking suck.
so I mean, like I said, I'm not real happy with how the outcome. But if it wins an Oscar, I guess I get an Oscar. I'm part of an Oscar, so.
There are a couple of questions that came up since the documentary came out. I think it could have been worse. I watched it over the weekend. But there were a couple of questions that had come up. One was, can you tell us a little? I mean, it's such a stupid little thing. Your shirt. Can you?
Let me ask again. Is this okay? I don't want to trigger anybody in this world that I'm wearing an orange polo. I hope it's not colorblind enough for anybody. The shirt I was wearing is from Drip Drop, which is Crime Circus.
We're fucking promoting Crime Circus now, bro. I don't even know what the fuck he's about to say.
Crazy. So,
But
so the interview was asking him about the. First of
the
all, he's
shirt.
talking about getting the Oscar and all this other shit. Like he didn't like. There's a lot here, right? But I'm gonna just stay focused on. He's so insensitive and naive and ignorant, or at least he plays it that way, right? We were just talking about this behind the scenes. Like I don't know if he's just dumb or. And even the dude interviewing him is alleging that Dom has some prior situations allegedly, and he was like trying to make it look like he had some type of domestic or family shit going on. Whatever, that's irrelevant. We're talking about the shirt now, right? So homeboys talking about, oh, that's just like some crime. I ain't even gonna plug that dude's shit or promote his shit at all, but how could you be so naive and so insensitive, right? To where two people lost their lives in a crash and you wear a shirt that says boom. That's crazy. And now you're trying to justify it.
Yeah, I'm just observing because the more I hear, the more pissed off I get. I have to detach myself because it's just so insulting, man, all the way around the board.
on YouTube. Crime Circus has been a defender for my daughter. He's made many posts saying she's innocent, and he shows the evidence, and he contradicts people who say, no, she's guilty, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, no, you have to look at this and this,
Yo, let me tell you something, Crime Circus, you fucking freak. Listen, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and those who know are aware of what the situation is know you're a fucking lying, manipulative clown.
Weirdo.
He was about a month after her trial. His one of his posts showed up with us. Someone sent it to us, and he had found 5 or 6 videos, interviews from the Strongsville Police Department that were not in the discovery, or were not in the discovery that we could find. And we went over everything, and we had access to everything during the bind over in the trial. There were 5 interviews with Christine Russo, Dom's brother, two of Dom's kind of friends, the Flanagans, and Hench. I think it's Hench, because he gets things done. Christopher Martin, the felon that lives in Christine Russo's basement, and he's the one that gave the information, or the intent to Mackenzie in her trial. He's the one that stated something that didn't happen, and we've got proof that Mackenzie did not threaten to crash that car that day. But these 5
Not that
videos
day. Just another
weren't in the
day.
discovery.
Not that day she didn't threaten to cash the car allegedly, but definitely another day. We've all heard it. But bro, imagine the fact that he still didn't get around to answering this dude's question. He's just talking about this clown and how it was just like a random shirt. Bro, the insensitivity is crazy. The ignorance is crazy. Like that's evil shit, bro. Like, oh, is anyone gonna get offended or triggered by my orange shirt? No one gives a fuck about your shirt.
Well,
But
the
the fact that your
distraction was,
daughter, yeah, yeah, but the fact that your daughter killed 2 people in a car accident and you wear a shirt that says boom is crazy.
I think that when it comes to Crime Circus and the fact that there's some sort of weird alliance, it just goes to show how fucking ignorant this dude really is, man, and how easily he can be persuaded or even manipulated too. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
he's not the sharpest fucking tack. You know what I mean? So,
But
um, yeah, I think everybody's exploiting this guy to show himself for who he truly is, man.
And in all the videos, everyone is in there says that Mackenzie has a problem passing out or sees as there was an issue, and they just blew over it. And at some point, during Christine Russo's or the brother's interview, because Christine and the brother were there, and every time the detective asked the brother something, he starts to answer, which seems to be truthful, and then Christine Russo.
Oh, you sucker fucker motherfucker, man. You cucking motherfucker. Yo, listen, man. I don't know what this broad told you to say, but why is he doing low blows against Christine? Like, what the fuck is the point of that, bro? What is that about? Like, how do you keep on, like, this is like some fucking Jerry Springer shit on a low, bro.
yeah, like we all seen Mackenzie being handled by the lawyer in the documentary when she looked over like, yo, did I do too much? Did I say too much? And they kept it in. Shout out to Netflix for that, which is crazy. But he's over here trying to say they're doing the shit that they're doing, which is crazy. Like, oh, he was trying to say this, but she like nudged him not to say this, to say this, like like they got handled is when we clearly seen Mackenzie looking over to her lawyer when she was speaking. Like, did I do a good job? Like, did I say too much? Did I do too much? Is that enough? Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
Over him and answers it for him, and he goes, "Oh yeah." So at some point, Christine Russo says, "These aren't going to be. No one's going to see these, right?" And the detective goes, "No, I'm not putting them in."
Wow.
So again, that's omittance, and
Yeah.
that seems kind of shady to me.
Well, if there were witnesses that could back up the claim that Kenzie occasionally passed out or had these seizures, that's pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think so. I would think the detective should, have an obligation to look into it. But when he got her, my understanding is when he got her medical records, he picked up her medical records from the day of the crash forward. He did nothing about going from the day of the crash back. That's true or false.
Yeah.
But that's my understanding.
People try to.
Sorry. The shirt.
Yeah.
The shirt is Crime Circus's logo or one of his swag that he sells.
No, it's not.
Back to marketing. What is this?
Tasteless.
What are you getting off of this? What percentage of the deal you getting?
Facts.
Boom is one of his things. So I wore the shirt to say thank you for what he was doing for my daughter, and he's done a lot. And if I see him, I'm gonna hug.
I'm sick to my stomach. I am sick to my
Yeah,
to my
and I'm
fucking
sure
stomach.
that's not his official logo, and I'm sure he got plenty of different, logos and shirts to choose from. But the fact that you wore that one, bro, you are not pulling the shades over our eyes, bro. You are not
You
blinding us
can't
with
be
this
that
bullshit.
fucking stupid, man. You can't be this ignorant.
Nah, I think it's evil. The apple don't fall far from the tree. It hit a few branches on the way down, you know what I mean? But wow.
This is super scary. It's scary to know that there's still people in the world that actually think like this and live day to day in our society.
That's the first thing I'm going to do. He's been a very good champion for what I feel is misjustice against my daughter and the lack of evidence.
Clowns hugging clowns, baby. Big old clown party.
Support the charges, so that's what that shirt was about. Not me being colorblind to two boys dying, because it's horrible. It was horrible. The day doesn't go by that I don't think about it, and that was one of the toughest things for me to do with this whole thing at the beginning was how can I
go on with life knowing my daughter fucking killed those two boys and she's lying and she's saying that she didn't do it, but I know she really did, and her mother's making me say that she didn't.
And let's be honest, it ain't about the two boys, right? At the end of the day, respectfully for us, it is. Rest in peace to the victims, condolences to the families, as always. But the only thing that bothers him is that his daughter's in prison for this shit. Let's be real.
Blind loyalty will make you look foolish, man.
be happy that my daughter's alive and breathing? And the fact that these two boys died, and Dom was part of our family, and I
think it was the other way around. I think she was more part of their family than she was a part of your family, and he wasn't even really, intermingling with, these fucking crazy psychopaths. Because anybody with any kind of little bit of sense can see that, the family dynamics ain't the greatest.
Right. But as he does all this damage control for him, his family, and his daughter, right after he was just shitting on Dom, with all due respect, he was just throwing him under the bus, saying he sold drugs, made Mackenzie carry this, carry that. Now all of a sudden he's part of the family. But just a second ago, you were saying he was making your daughter take this road, making her mule, making her hold shit, and he allegedly selling drugs. Come on, man.
That's why I say it's always convenient for, whatever the fuck this is, this cleanup PR.
Wherever anybody wants to spin it, he went everywhere with our family. He was at Easter, Christmas. He was part of our vacations. He was part of our family. I'm sorry the Russos lost a son or a brother or a cousin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the Flanagans lost Davion. There's nothing I can say.
Bro, I just want to, I don't know if I should say it, man, but sometimes people would deserve a little wake up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
And there's a lot he could say here. It's crazy, bro.
there's
They got
just
my head
there's
spinning.
no for me. There's just no empathy, man, and it's just one sided, right? And it's just like, all right, those guys, those boys, they're dead. But my daughter's not, and this is where we are. You know what I mean? So let's get over it and fucking move on and worry about Mackenzie. And that's what we're doing. Next question. He's a fucking dweeb, bro. He's an idiot.
Yeah,
There's nothing I can do
of course not.
to ever change that. We try. I was at the gravesite with Christine and
And that's even sicker, bro. Go back to everything I just said, man. Knowing what he knows and still going and still, continuing the act and not breaking character and saying, yo, this is not right, man. I know exactly what the fuck is happening. My daughter's got crazy mental health issues, and it's unfortunate we weren't able to fucking, steer in the right direction. No pun intended. Respectfully.
Well, you heard what he said, man. He said, "Oh, the way they're gonna spin it, I just like it's too many coincidences, which I don't believe in coincidences. For him to
Absolutely
be
not.
this ignorant and this naive, I think it's pure evil. There's puns behind his shit. With all due respect to the families, again, rest in peace to the victims and condolences to the families. But bro, this is wild work.
It is. It's complicated on both sides, man. There's a lot of red flags.
countless days. I talked to the dad. The dad was in my house, telling Mackenzie he believes her, that blah blah. They thought it was an accident. It's okay, and they did this little pendulum thing, and then after the bind over.
All right, let's go back. Pendulum. What
I
is
think
he
they were
talking
doing
about,
some
Ron?
Ouija. I think they were doing some Ouija board stuff, and this is before they knew her intent. When they thought she just lost her boyfriend, when they didn't think she did this shit on purpose, they were being civil. They were
Great
showing up.
point, Ronnie.
You
Because
know what I mean?
that is what it keeps kind of being like iced over, right? The icing on the cake is just glazing over this whole fucking bullshit that she's innocent. She would have never been convicted. They would have never arrested her after the fact if they
Right.
wouldn't have had evidence to do so,
Exactly.
right? So for him to be saying this, it's a distraction, and it just takes you to another place of saying, "Oh, she's innocent," because now he's using the words of the parents, but not in the correct timeline for people to understand what the scenario is.
Exactly. It's taken out of context.
Yeah, he's fucking PR'd out the fucking wazoo, my guy.
It stopped. I don't get it. None of the evidence changed. The black box information was the black box information.
Prosecutors gave them a place to focus their anger.
Well, their story. It was his narrative, and even in one of those drip drop or one of those release videos, the detective saying, "Well, I'm just doing what Troop wants, what Tim wants. I'm just so there." We believe this detective on day 3 or 4 already assumed the worst, and so.
Yo, Buddy's bugging, my dude. We
But
all
this
seen the
is,
documentary. They were fair at first. They were
but not
very
only that.
nice.
I know you were doing something else and you couldn't make it to the pod where we had Christine on, Dom's sister, but the the detective was truly concerned in the beginning. Like they went and they really thought that she was
Right.
like innocent. You know what I mean? They were really
Well, they were
checking on her.
scared for her life too. Like, you know,
Well, that goes back to even the call when we were speaking about it. The compassion
the
that
humanity. Right.
yeah, the humanity part of the officer, and I could have just been a part of the investigation, right? But I'm pretty sure there had to be some humanity in there, right?
Compassion. Right. Right.
Had to be, because you just fucking ran into a wall. Your boyfriend is gone, and his friend is gone, and
Yeah. And they're 3 young kids at the end of the day. Like, you're a grown man. This is what you do. That's hard to see for anybody.
and it's hard to even associate the fact that it would be so evilly intended that it would be something that she could actually pull through on.
Exactly. It's not going to be the first thing that comes to your mind when you stumble upon a quote unquote accident. You're going to be concerned for all parties at the time.
Yeah, and the young factor is what really probably pulled the wool over his eyes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what the sorry to go back to it. That's what the shirt was. The shirt was a thank you to Crime Circus. Wasn't a me being color.
And it just goes to show you once again how stupid this fucking guy is, bro. We all know. We watched Batman. We all saw that. This guy is Circus, whatever the fuck his name is. He's living in the fucking. He's living in some dark realm of fucking. Gotham's insane asylums, man. He's shot. He's out of his fucking mind. He wants to be a character so bad. He wants to be a character so bad.
A piano. Yeah, 100%.
He just wants to be a part of Gotham fucking psychopaths, bro. He's an idiot. And the fact that he pulled the Joker on this fucking Joker is fucking actually kind of brilliant.
But he's bugging.
Yeah, he pulled the fucking crazy reverse and switch on him. Who wears a shirt like that after a situation like this? Proudly at that, you fucking idiot.
And now he's doubling down on it. Never mind just wearing it. He's sitting
and he
here.
Promoted his page. What the fuck?
He's trying to justify this shit.
This guy is out of his mind.
Blind or insensitive to anybody, because that's the most idiotic. Because oh my god, why would I do that? That's got to be the dumbest take on a shirt, And again,
he said it himself though. Just now, he said it just now. He just told on himself. That has to be the dumbest take on a shirt. That's the only take. It's the only take you can possibly take with this take. The fuck out of here, you idiot. He's so confused, man. This guy needs severe help. And you know who did this to him? Guess who? Guess who brainwashed the hell out of him?
The mother kid.
Natty Natalie.
Natty Ice.
Everyone, it's orange. I'm sorry if it's offensive. I apologize now.
I just assumed. It's a graphic T-shirt. And I know you come from an art background, graphic design.
Yep, graphic design. Yep.
And then you were teaching art.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you have to understand the marketing aspect of that and know that there's a meaning to everything from every angle of art there is. Everybody has a different perspective, but there's a main perspective though.
And it seems like Buddy's feeding him excuses, bro. Like, try this one.
The Netflix producer situation. I think he learned from whatever journalism school that was. I'm pretty sure there's behavioral science, and there has to be. Psychology has to be a part of journalism. No way, form, or fashion it could possibly not be. So, shout out to that professor that's teaching him how to mind fuck these crazies.
Now, what's happened since the documentary came out?
Well, apparently the diocese had a problem with something I said in there, along with.
And B was like, "Yo, shut the fuck up, bro. Stop talking." He wanted to go in his mouth, man.
Fuck out of here.
But I'd hate to see him as a zombie, bro. You'd have to put him down hard and fast. You wouldn't want this guy walking around in circles.
Not at all. He already looking like a whole zombie.
He does. He's on it.
Sleep.
Yeah, he's on the verge of turning into something.
If
Did people contact?
Yes, that's my understanding. There was a website out of Parma something, and I guess they just called in and made all kind of stupid, baseless accusations. And then the diocese has an obligation to protect the kids, which I understand. But the problem I have with the diocese,
surprised they didn't catch it sooner.
Right, and just for everybody in the chat, I think he's talking about being released from his job or fired or let go or whatever.
He worked for a Catholic school, the Archdiocese of
he was like an art teacher or something.
It's an art teacher, yeah. But I'm surprised the interactions that he had with students and staff and whoever else, counselors, guidance counselors, nobody picked up on this guy's mental, right?
Energy years ago, yeah.
Because he's a little off.
Yeah, he's all the way off. And Buddy's tap, bro. Buddy's tap. But I think it was him, talking about the weed. Everybody smokes weed. I smoke a little weed. You smoke a little weed. I think that's what did it. Or at least.
Well, not only that, I think they realized that his daughter's fucking absolutely guilty, right?
Yeah.
He's over here fucking lying his ass off, trying to get people to believe that she's not, right? Because it's clear as day, right? That she did that with intent, and it wasn't good intent, right?
Right.
No way,
but they had to go about it a certain way, so they used what they could. You feel me?
Absolutely. There was a plan at the end, and it was strategic because of the fact that 15 in life is definitely going to turn into 30 and better. She's doing no less than 30. I bullshit you not.
I agree.
And I think they don't understand this. Whether we're going to appeal soon, and that's going to get shut down immediately. No grounds for appeal, and she's going right back to where the fuck she was. And she's either going to fucking get it together, right, and figure out, yo, listen, I fucked up. She's going to prepare herself for the 30, because once she admits to guilt, because she's going to have to,
Right.
that's the only way she's going to be able to even consider to get the fuck out, right? Because the more she doesn't, the longer she does, the longer she stays.
Yeah, the longer she prolongs it, the longer she prolongs it.
So
To even
she,
qualify, you need to take accountability.
and that's the first thing they're gonna ask for
Facts.
accountability. And the fact that she's either gonna give it or she's not is gonna keep her in regardless.
She needs to show some remorse. Right.
30 is the least amount of time she's gonna do. So either she gets it together, right, or she continues to do 30 and better and dies in prison. There's a small chance that she might get out, but it would be after 30 or better.
Right.
Doing how they did it is they didn't talk to me. They just acted.
Yeah.
When I just, here it is, boom.
So you were teaching for like a Catholic school.
Catholic school, yes.
Yeah. They're saying that because of the drugs or something.
It's something. I mean, in the documentary, we were talking about
So
her.
you didn't have a problem with her.
I didn't. As you know, as a parent, I pick my battles. You know, I'm sorry if I find marijuana not that dangerous as I find alcohol or cocaine or whatever. You know, my daughter, beyond what everybody else seems to think or wants to interpret or glean, she seemed mature enough to handle it. I didn't see a issue.
So, me as an adult, right? Knowing how the brain develops and all that good stuff,
Yeah.
and how different the weed is now from what it once was. Because,
Real rap.
listen, I was smoking from like 11 and up. You know what I mean?
Me too. I started smoking at 11, pumping, pushing at 12, bro, and that was different bud than this dispensary shit is different.
Yeah, everything is not the same. So
Ever since the government took over.
yeah. So there was a lot of people only really smoke weed if they really needed it, and some people really do need it. Some people do have conditions
Medical conditions, right?
that they need to keep themselves in a certain place of controlledness after a certain amount of trauma in life, right?
Listen, I self-medicated for a long time with the weed.
Growing up in the hood, man, on some real shit, man. The trauma you endure, man. The only thing that keeps you sane in the sense and cool, calm, and collective is a good spliff every once in a while. You know
That's
what I'm
what
saying?
calmed me down, bro.
But as a child, with all this new shit that's going on, I don't think children should be fucking smoking weed at all. And I think that the government purposely marketed it to children, because everywhere you go, that shit is on a colorful packet.
Oh, they got gummies and Sour Patch Kids.
It's horrendous how they let that infiltrate the youth of tomorrow, because there's going to be a lot of slow sedated fucking kids that are going to turn into adults, man, and we're going to be stuck for quite some time. Respectfully, I'm just saying what it is. I'd like to call shit for what it really is.
Yeah, and the mind ain't fully developed.
But once they start
growth, for lack of a better term.
Once you start marketing to kids, man, it's all bad from there, man.
Just like they did with cigarettes back in the day.
Well, that didn't have a mental or sort of dependency
from the marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Point of view.
But yeah, they definitely they got the kids hooked.
Target them.
You shouldn't allow a child to smoke marijuana, man. Especially not this shit. You know what I mean?
Especially driving.
It wasn't.
Yeah, all the way.
Causing her to be late for this or not do this or get in an accident. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't anything that was, and I had other battles I wanted to fight with her, and I taught her right along. I said, look, you can't be driving with it, blah blah blah. Watch with, you can't.
So this contradicts what he just said, right? He said Davion used to have her hold the drugs. So what the fuck are you talking about? You allowed that to take place, but you didn't give her the prep talk on being a mule and a goddamn fucking purse, a wallet. You know what I mean?
Be careful with Dominic. If you get caught, he gets caught. You get caught. All I can do is teach her and try to make her learn. She's a lot like me. When I was little, I needed to do it experience it to learn it, and don't touch the stove. Steve, don't touch the stove. And I go touch the stove.
That says a lot, you fucking idiot.
Dumb.
And got burned. It's who she is. She has to learn for herself and make her own choices. And that's what I was doing. And she was getting older. And
I think that's bad breeding, bro.
Yeah, some
Respectfully.
people should just not be allowed to procreate.
Yeah, especially with fucking natty.
and her and Dom were making a life together. Now, was I greatly happy with the relationship? No. This toxic has been thrown around a lot. I didn't see the toxic relationship that every
Toxicity.
my daughter's boyfriend, who is a little older than he should be. This is just me. It's my personal shit. Is driving around with my daughter, having her hold drugs, and this is normal. Where?
Nowhere.
I'm just saying. I grew up in the streets. I grew up fucked up. You know what I mean?
From
The
the hood.
gutter.
I'm in the projects right
But
now.
there's a
I've been here
time.
my whole life.
There's a time if you have somebody around you, right? That's supposed to be a parental guidance or anything of that fucking nature that's gonna put
Right.
you in the right direction and steer you clear of any kind of fuck shit. Where is that? Because he failed off the rip with all the other shit. Because this is all a contradiction.
100%.
And I didn't mean to cut you off, Ronnie. I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
It's
no.
just
I'm just
this
saying
shit
this
is
argument
crazy.
is going nowhere.
Yeah,
Nowhere.
he just exposes himself more, man. It just pisses me off the more I have to hear it.
But he's saying, oh, it's toxic. This is a toxic relationship. And they argued. I argue with my wife. Everybody argues, okay? From what I knew, it wasn't toxic. They argued. They broke up. He's over the next day with flowers and candy and a stuffed animal. I mean, it was like every couple of months something would happen, and my wife was helping them try to fix their relationship. And they were
She's playing fucking match queen, matchmaking queen with her daughter and trying to play house, bro. She was playing dolls with fucking human kids, bro. That's what she was doing, bro. All actuality, that's all. That's all she was doing. She was creating storylines, putting shit. You see what she does on the calls?
Yeah, 100%.
They're goddamn besties, bro.
never, ever breaking up. And anybody who says that is lying. And I don't care if it's hurtful. They were not breaking up. They may break up, but they were getting right back together.
And this is false, bro. And that's toxic in itself. So he's fucking contradicting himself once again. But
Yo.
there's fucking texts where he was letting her know the night of, yo, listen, this shit ain't working out, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
And listen,
like, he was talking to another girl and all that. Like, he was like really trying to let her fucking go. You know
right.
what I mean? Like too much toxicity, man. Come on. This kid, he had a good life. He had, family that loved him. He had,
Right.
good sisters and good aunts and uncles. You know what I mean? So he's chilling. He doesn't have to go through this toxic bullshit. Sometimes it's interesting, right? It's like, I know how to work emotion. Young boy shit. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Adolescent shit. You know what I mean?
And that's
But
exactly what I was just about to bring up, right? I try to be strategical, I try to be rational, I try to be logical, but I can't hold you. I can't front. This shit got me a little bit of heated, bro. I apologize for cutting you off. I apologize to the chat for rambling. I'm scrambling and stumbling and stuttering because this shit genuinely hit a nerve with me. This interview just rubbed me the wrong way. Pause. No Diddy. But I just want to apologize to you for talking over you and getting a little ahead of myself because this shit really struck a nerve. And I'm trying to compose and contain,
no, I understand, Ronnie.
stay cool, calm, and collective, but it's hard, bro.
Me too, man. I get it. I understand what's going on, and it is frustrating because it's like you can see what's going on, and just the audacity and the fact that the insulting of the intelligence is just what really pisses me off, right? And I just want to say this is the way I'm looking at it. To try not to be angry or upset with it. This guy is allowing him to expose his true colors.
Yep.
And really show what the hell is going on. You know what I mean? That's the only thing we can do right now is just observe.
Yeah, he's giving him enough rope to hang himself. You know what I'm saying?
And I guess go back, to empathy and go into understand of, where did this guy go wrong? Because I'm thinking about, Natalie, where did she go wrong? Where did her teachings come from? Because
right,
it's horrible on a growing, growing a family and raising a child.
Yep.
this is definitely the wrong recipe.
And you know what it is? In my opinion, one of the many things they did wrong, especially the mother, is try to be her friend rather than be her mother.
Yeah, well, you got to remember they raised her with an iPad, man. That's where they really. I mean, and the root of it all, man. I think somewhere along the line they detached and they cut the cord with the iPad, man. They plugged her in and they were never really able to unplug her. You know what I mean? Sometimes she comes through and she can get like right now, this is the most control that her mother has ever had over her in life. Right? She's situated, she's not going anywhere. She can speak to the warden, she can, she can slowly plant seeds and see what they grow into. Maybe she's trying to do it for the better, maybe she's not. I know we heard her talk about, therapy and,
Yeah.
being involved with that mental health. So I don't know, but there's a lot of things that Natalie needs to address with herself as well. There's
Exactly. And that's
there's
a
a
lot of talk and not a lot of follow through.
yeah, well, we'll see in the future, man, because by the time Natalie is gonna ever see her again, in any kind of free form, is gonna be on the other side, man. And I'm saying that respectfully because
Right.
Mackenzie's not coming home, and Natalie will still be here unless she's living to a very old age of whatever it is to add 30 plus to what it is that she is now. And man, I tell you, man, the soul eventually shows itself in its true colors over time.
Indeed.
I was on my daughter all the time. I punished her all the time. Okay, it's not me going, okay, just go, hey, go have a whole time, go smoke dope, have fun, woo, drive your car really fast.
I mean, that's what it looks like on the documentary. It looks like a teenage girl who has no supervision, who smokes weed all the time,
Yeah.
who makes her own rules,
She-
and lives with her boyfriend.
she-
Like,
she-
how much of that is true?
Yeah.
How much-
she stayed with her boyfriend. It was they were talking about
That sums up
So-
everything for me, man. That pretty much as honesty as you can get.
So yeah, the interviewer did a great job right there, keeping it real. Said, "Listen, this is what it looks like. Looks like you motherfuckers had no control whatsoever."
No real care or concern either, man, because
Mhm.
there's so much window period time that you're not seeing her, right? She was
Right.
living there days at a time. I don't know.
Well, now
How
he's trying to
often she went
backtrack and
back.
say she wasn't living there, that she was back and forth, and it wasn't that serious. She was kind of just staying there occasionally. Come on, the contradictions are crazy. Come on, man.
Yeah, but the fact that he's willing to come up here and keep on reiterating and giving more information, just goes to show, man, that these people ain't too bright, man.
moving in, and she was getting close to 18. And if I would have hammered her and locked her into her room, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Chain her to the bed? I mean, okay. All I can do is teach her how to survive and live. And she knew if there's a
Whoa.
problem, who to call. She talked to my wife all the time.
Well, that she did. She survived and she lived.
Your wife or her mother? What the fuck? Where is the connection here with the family dynamics, right? I'm just saying, like, that's her mother. Her mother. She learns from her mother all the time, not your wife. Like, what are you, fucking Reek from Game of Thrones, bro? Holy shit.
If these two kids were going to break up and there was a problem, my wife would already know. We would have known it. Okay. I would have been very happy about it if they broke up. Okay. No boy would ever be good enough for my daughter. That's a father,
But you allowed your daughter to go live in his house and pretty much be deflowered, or maybe not, or just get,
Right.
railed on a regular basis.
And he was just family 5 minutes ago. Come on, bro.
Out of his fucking mind,
My
bro.
God. Buddy's bugging.
But again, he did treat her.
Bugging is bugging, but he's definitely not all there, bro.
Yeah, he got some screws loose. He's tapped.
There's a few lights on in the house, man, and it
Ain't nobody home.
Listen, there's no fucking occupancy in that motherfucker, man. It looks good from the outside, but god damn, son, it's really dark. Go to the basement.
Very well. I didn't see much of the fight. I didn't see the stupid little fights or the arguments I didn't see it.
One other thing that came out I've been trying to catch up on social media about what people are saying about this. There's one other weird thing that came up that I was hoping that you could explain a little bit. I guess
I don't know, man. I was born in the '80s, man. I don't know, man. This guy's a little fucking feminine for me, bro. What kind of what is this, bro? And respectfully, I don't, I don't want to beef with anybody who's, on the other side, man. But
Right.
what the fuck is going on, man? This
I'm
guy
picking
is
up what you laying down, bro.
absolutely not sure of anything, bro. And I think his wife preys on that, brother.
100%.
Yep, he's the guy that sits in that red chair over there.
In
See
the
that red
corner.
chair?
In
He
the
sits over
corner.
there. It watches. He's a watcher.
At one point, Kenzie and her mother are caught on tape talking in like what people are calling a different language, or like Carney speak.
It's Carney. It's gypsy speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that something they would do?
It's a family thing. It's a family thing that
It's
my wife grew up.
gibberish. Again, it is not gypsy. They think it's gypsy because they have no understanding of what a gypsy or who gypsies are in no shape, form, or fashion. But I guess, in each state, in different situations, is different. But out here, I know real gypsies.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Ronnie, and I think
I'm related.
I've been saying this.
through through marriage, and they speak real gypsy talk, and what they speak, like I said, my growing up in the projects, my babysitters used to speak that gibberish shit, so I
It's
understand
really pig
every-
Latin. It's really pig
no,
Latin with a
Pig
whole
Latin
bunch of
is
S's.
different. I can break them both down. Pig Latin is different. Pig Latin is Ani Ray, that's Ronnie. For the gone of the gee is the gibberish. That's the way they be talking. So it's two different things. But yeah, he could say it's Connie. He could say it's gypsy shit because of the travelers. Connie, maybe it is out there where they're from, but over here they speak a whole different dialect. But what they're talking is straight up gibberish.
Well, I've been saying it from the very beginning. I think I'm the one that kept on saying gypsy talk. You know what I mean? And it it's
But they're
something that
not
they've been
gypsies.
saying. No, and I was trying to agree with you earlier. I know you're passionate about that. I know that's like a thing. I know you know the real gypsies,
Yeah,
but I think that they are $5 gypsies, brother.
wannabe.
Yeah. And I think that for whatever reason they use that language to talk around them,
Yeah.
and do whatever it is that they wanted to do because the mother was really, I don't know, she's really one with the pants on, man. You see what's going on here, man.
Yeah, yeah.
He should
And
be
this
in a
is
goddamn blouse or something.
and this is how I could break it down, right? If somebody spoke, speaking gibberish is all about speaking it fast enough for somebody not be able to pick it up. So if you speak it slowly, anybody could understand it. So it's all about the speed of the conversation that leaves people
Yeah,
lost.
and it's a lot of for them, right? I had looked into it. It's a lot of the prolongings with the S's, you know what I mean? And with the C's as S's and the S's as S's. But C's with causes that bullshit. It's all Caesars, and it's like however they added on, like if ixnay on the acne,
Yeah.
it would
And
be like
people
a
put,
pig
put
Latin,
their own
just
little twist on
twist
it,
to it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think it's authentic gypsy, bro.
Not at all.
I think it's some generic shit that they came up with them by themselves. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. I gin the rum because they put their own little twist on some gibberish shit, called it Connie talk, have no idea what a real gypsy is or what they sound like, and they just call it that.
Yeah, I agree with you all the way.
Ignorantly.
Yeah, sickly.
Can you speak it?
No,
Okay.
it's
You cuck ass motherfucker.
Well,
No.
that just goes to show and prove everything we've been saying. They speak this shit right in front of him, over his head and behind his back, and he has no idea what they're saying.
You laugh like a cuck.
and because they do it so fast. It's
I know how it works now.
the
You add an extra syllable in with
the is the easy.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say that right. It's like a pig Latin. You're adding vowels, or you're splitting the
No,
word with,
two different
and
things.
it's something the families, my wife's family has done for years. It's nothing. It's like when the gypsies and the carnivals would come around, and they didn't want the locals to hear what they were saying. That's what they would speak.
Yeah.
So
You're a fucking local, you idiot. You're a fucking local. They treated you like a local. She fucking took your your sperm and fucking made a little gypsy princess and fucking showed her all the fucked up shit in the world. And now she's just out of control. And you're just sitting there with a fucking skirt on. You should be sitting over there, fucking talking. Man, get the fuck out of here.
So this is where
My
it's
daughter
getting
always
it
talked that way.
confused, right? Because gypsies travel, right? And when the Connies come, they're not from around the way. So that's where he's confusing the two. Because Connies come and go and gypsies travel, he's
Yeah,
putting them in the same
gypsies don't
box when it's
settle.
two different things. And
Yeah,
Pig Latin
they're
is
not
a
settlers.
completely different language. Yeah.
They're
I'm
not
just saying it
settlers.
for the chat. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. There's like so the Irish gypsies that, I have relations to through marriage, I'm related to some Irish gypsies, they call them travelers. They go by travelers. Because the word gypsy traces back to Egypt, the original term gypsy. That's why it's gypsy, Egyptian,
Oh, okay,
Egyptian.
okay, all right. Let's not get crazy. I, I'm
I'm just breaking down the history.
no, yeah, yeah. Listen, man. I'm here with you, man. I'm just appalled in the fact that he's admitting all this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
not to say that he shouldn't, but it's just. Do you hear what you're saying yourself?
right.
You just basically let it be known that you're an outsider, right? Because
Exactly. In
they
your
only
own family. And
your
like
own
you said, they
family.
act like sisters. They act like girlfriends, like they're friends rather than a mother and a daughter.
And when they don't want to have someone hear what they're talking about, that's what they talk about. It's like having a German person or Japanese out here in America
Yeah.
start talking Japanese because they don't, it's a private thing.
The wife's got one hell of a game. I tell you that, man. She's pimping. She's got
It's a
him
private
fucking
thing.
trained.
They don't even let me in on it. Crazy.
Yo, yeah, well, we're gonna learn this shit together. What the fuck is going on, brother? Just saying respectfully, that turns a house into a fucking battleground, bro. What the fuck is going on? Bro? I'd feel some type of way, bro.
Yeah,
Y'all
they
fucking
boxed them
talking?
out.
What the fuck are y'all talking about? I don't know. I would
Listen, as
definitely.
the man of the house, with all due respect, you're not gonna live in my house and try to speak another language that I don't understand right in front of my face, over my head, behind
Sleeping
my
with the
back.
enemy, bro. That's like
Never in a
sleeping with the
million
enemy.
years.
It's like
Yeah.
me. It's like being in jail with somebody that you forced to fucking live with it. But at any given time, shit can pop off.
Yeah. And
They're talking behind
obviously,
your back.
it comes down to
Uh,
trust if they don't trust him with that information, right?
he's a cuck.
Facts.
So that's what the speech.
He should have wore the word cuck on the shirt instead of what it was. Should have been cuck. See if we can get a good editor and put that up there. Cuck with the flash behind it.
It's called
With the chair.
Or maybe the light, the standing light that you put in the corner. One of those. It's always behind the chair. It's got the
Yeah.
little string. Click click.
Arnie.
How old was Kenzie when she learned how to do?
She was pretty young. I've never heard anyone say it. And I'm sorry, I'm smiling. I'm smiling because it's a good memory for me.
Sure.
My wife and my daughters. It's like bees. It's like bees. And during this process, we knew when my daughter was in the juvenile center or over in county, she didn't want people around hearing what we were talking about because there's big ears everywhere, and then someone's going to say something, and we didn't want to give away what we were possibly doing
What
in
they were
court or how
talking
we were
about.
going to try to defend.
Because they
He's
have
saying
something
we
to
like he's
hide.
included, bro. He don't know what the
But
fuck they're
this is where
saying.
I'm saying, like, this is where it goes when it comes to the fact that he knew. He just acts like he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He's just on the fucking marketing team for Mackenzie, bro. He's an outsider, bro. He's always gonna be the fucking worker. He's always gonna be trying to prove himself to be a part of whatever the fuck that
Good
is.
point. Speaking of bees, yeah, he the worker bee and they the queen bees. That's crazy.
Under. So we were trying to be careful what anybody else overheard or who was overhearing her, or I say we, but they were. It's just it's a language they speak together. It's like twins speaking a weird language. It was not to hide anything nefarious.
Sure.
There's big talk about something she said in the hospital, and if you know the language, she didn't say it.
It's about the seizure. She was saying should she say that she had a seizure,
Yep.
and then they asked because remember we had saw the interview with the Fockers podcast. She wasn't able to associate the word in the language that she uses. She
Right.
kind of stumbled on the fact that she said seizure.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think when we first heard the calls, we said something about that as well. I think we got to go back in the fucking archives and see what's going on. But that's the word they're talking about. When she was in the hospital and she was asking whether or not she should be
Should
able
I
to
say
say that.
this? Yeah.
Should I say I had a seizure?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing.
Yeah, I think they're trying to say
Say she
that-
was saying, "Oh, I was seizing," and that,
Yeah.
that didn't happen. There's no Sizu, Izu, you know, there's no word in that whole conversation about that. Plus, my daughter was just out of. That was the day, that was the day of or the day after, and she was on all kind of pain medication. She broke her femur. She broke her fib.
She remembers how to talk this fucking language. Come on, man. This is sick, man.
So first, there's no word for it, which there is in
There is.
gibberish.
Yes,
Yep.
there is.
And now it's the medication. Come on, man.
This guy's
Making
horrible.
excuses, stick to it.
I think it's the fibula, right?
Yeah.
She broke the fibula, detached tricep, 3 broken ribs, a puncture wound through her knee, lacerated liver, lacerated kidney, bumps and bruises all over her face. Both her carotid arteries were damaged.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
the kid's lucky to be alive. So she was on, you know, she didn't really know what she was saying. She had just found out what happened with Dom and Davion because we didn't tell her at first. She was in so much pain and we just didn't want to add to that. So,
It strikes me too as like every time I think about this, it's a really stupid way to commit suicide if that's what you're intent.
God, my God, she was not committing suicide. There's absolutely no base, no evidence, no manifesto, no note, no video, nothing. There's not one.
Because we just explained the fact that she was buckled up and ready for impact. She did that with the intentions of knowing that there's a high percentage of her making it, especially the way she crashed. Because if you really wanted to kill yourself, man, that's going to be a flat fucking face car.
Exactly. And like he said earlier in this podcast, let's not forget that he taught her to live and survive.
Yeah, they're horrible, man. They're horrible fucking liars, man.
One iota
After
of
all this
evidence.
time, what do you think happened?
God, okay, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know. I know the car crashed. I know Davion and Dominic lost their lives. I know my daughter was lucky to be alive. I know she went through I believe she was falsely accused. The charges she was accused of, I'm not completely getting away. She's not completely innocent. She was driving a car, and you know, and it should have never left the juvenile court, and it should have been vehicular homicide or reckless vehicular homicide. And I don't think you could even prove reckless with what evidence is not available to the prosecutor. But I don't know.
Why do you
I think it was. I would, if I had to give my guess, I think it's a bunch of things. I think it's a perfect storm. I'm pretty good. She was probably coming down her 60, 70 miles an hour. Okay. One theory is something happened to the car. Toyota has a history with that kind of car. It's documented. It's on the internet. I don't know. I don't know how would ever prove it. The black box isn't on. It's not recording any of that because the black box turned on down the road. If something happened to the car and the gas pedal stuck and accelerated, all would be in that car is panic. And then if that car came around that little bend, and it's not a severe bend, it's a manageable bend, and it hit that dip that used to be in the road that the city fixed last year or last summer, that car went flying, and that's what turned on. That's what the black box said. The car went right to left. The car thought it was flipping over. The black box turned on. The side airbags went off.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, the black box is nonlinear. It's not a linear recording. It doesn't go on. You know, it's not a constant. Like every micro. Yeah, in a nonlinear thing, it's going half second, or microsecond, whatever the timing is. And our car guy said, you know, you can't necessarily say she'd never braked because it could have happened in between. You know,
You're selling a used car, and I don't fucking want it, bro. Some bullshit, Ronnie. I don't know. The more I hear, the more I get pissed off. But you know what? The show must go on. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man.
I know I'm not saying that because there's no proof to that. Why would I? But it could have happened.
Everybody else is saying a lot of things where there's no proof.
Yeah. Well, sorry. Well, yeah, and especially the prosecutor, and there's more to that if we can get to it eventually. But at the end of that video, the brake lights go on, and their car expert said, "Well, that's a safety feature."
Yeah.
Well, why didn't the brakes go on?
Aren't brakes a safety feature by design?
I think so, but what I'm saying is,
Boy, that bee is on his ass
Yep.
every time he fucking lies, man.
the brake, you could see the brakes clearly
On the video.
on the video.
See how he compares that? This is some Kaiser Soze shit, son. Remember the bees buzzing? And look, the bees is coming after him.
Yep.
You clearly see him, and his response, "Well, that's a safety feature." Well, why did the safety feature work prior?
Yeah.
It hadn't hit anything. It just went across the road. That was right as it went across the road. So why is the safety feature only working right there? So
Why do you think they went so hard against her?
man, well, there's the part where maybe I'll get myself in trouble.
Let's try to avoid.
I think there's some collusion going on. I think it's a fix. I think it's a favor. That last name Russo in this town.
It's like
Why do they always go to that, man? Like, it's not even like really evident in any way, form, or fashion.
Right.
Like,
And you
how
know
do
what's
you-
crazy?
Hmm.
I was just gonna say, you know, it's crazy when we first started covering these calls. With all due respect, it got nothing to do with the Russos out there, but out here in Massachusetts and Boston, that is a heavy last name that does carry weight. I know gangsters, I know governments, all with that last name, but it got nothing to do with nothing, right? But what he's trying to imply that it was this one big setup, that they're all friendly with this, that, and that's why it turned into what it turned into. But at the end of the day, she took 2 lives.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, back to the actual facts. Like, why does he keep on veering off and trying to get us to be like in the favor that, you know, there's some sort of setup? And I noticed, like, for those who don't know the prison system or try to take, you know, capitalizing off the, you know, how corrupt the prison system is, this is not that situation, man. This is not where you can see clear as day that there's some fucking collusion, bro. Anybody in their right mind, bro, a blind man could get presented this case and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, man, that was intentional. You know what I mean? There's intent behind this, and, you know, she should sit down for a while because she's obviously not getting it, right? Or maybe I'm fucking going crazy.
Nah, let's not forget, we all heard, you know, we all seen the video of her and Dom fighting. Well, her really fighting, being the aggressor, and Dom really being cool, calm, and collected. Actually being so concerned that he had called his mother, expressing the concern of her threatening him, and you better let me in that house, and I'm gonna ruin your life, I'm gonna ruin your family, I'm gonna ruin your friends. And then it got to the extreme point where she actually threatened to crash the car before. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, this narrative that he's pushing, man, like I said, it'll fly with those who can't keep, you know, their attention span for more than fucking
Right.
30 seconds at a clip. You know what I mean? This right here is just clear as day that, you know, this guy is delusional, and, you know, he's loyally he's just blind altogether. You know what I mean?
Yeah, blind loyalty, 100%.
You know, I was trying to explain that to somebody. Having the last name Russo in
Which is fucking admirable in itself, right, Ronnie? I mean, to an extent. I mean, if you look at it for what it is, right? He is loyal in a sense, right, to fucking Queen Bee, fucking Gypsy Talker over here, fucking.
Oh, to a fault, yeah.
Not to a fault, bro. To a fucking fault. I mean, yeesh.
Cuyahoga County is like having the last name Kennedy in Boston.
Mm-hmm. There might be some truth to that.
Whoa,
Like I said, this is.
Shout
Hold
out
on.
to the fucking Kennedys, man. Shout out to the
Listen.
Kennedys, man.
Yeah, shout out to the Kennedys. But listen, 20 years after an Irishman couldn't get a fucking job, we had the presidency. May he rest in peace. So listen, while the Kennedy name does hold weight up here in Boston and Massachusetts in general, it's actually associated with bad luck, especially if you're superstitious. I just want to clear that up.
Yeah, the Kennedys got a bad rap with a lot of fucking things, man. They're still fucking going through a lot of shit from all that shit from before, man. But I'll tell you this, man, he was going to be something, a reckoning that would have been something fierce to be, reckoned with.
100%.
This is a political family, and I apologize to the Flanagan family right now. If it was just Davion in the car, she wouldn't be in jail. She would have.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything, bro?
He's saying that the last name Russo holds so much weight in that town or that state that's the only reason she got found guilty on these charges. If it was just Davion in the whip, it wouldn't have had transpired the way it had transpired.
This
That's
dude is
crazy.
sick, man. Unbelievable.
It would have never left the juvenile court. This has to do with the boy's last name, and the judge saying, "Well, I don't have a blood relationship." Look, I'm not saying she has got a blood relationship. I'm saying she has relationships with the Russo family, and her even saying that in court, just if you're going to believe she doesn't have a relationship, you're fooling yourself. I'm not saying it's directly with Christine Russo down the road here, but it's with somebody, and
There are many Russos.
yes.
What the fuck?
In judicial
Positions. In fact, it was
and the prosecutor's office.
Yep, and Christine Russo was part of that prosecutor's office at one point, and I believe she's friends with Tim True. I think they were in the office together.
Well, let me jump ahead a little bit.
Okay.
How is what was Kenzie's take on the documentary? How's she doing after this has come out?
She's okay. I thought she was okay with it. She's in Marysville.
Okay.
She wasn't so okay with the fact that they used, when she turned to the lawyer, her lawyer was there with her when she did this, and she turned to him and wanted to make sure she said what she wanted to say and that she didn't sound like she's just talking gibberish. So she turned to him and they ran with that and let it go, and it just makes her seem like it was planned, performant, and it wasn't. I thought she did well on it. She was beautiful, and I think she was very composed. You can see that she's got a couple years maturity to her now.
Yeah, I did notice that.
It's a rehabilitation. Marysville's more of a rehabilitation than it is a maximum security. You lock the cells, or the prisons you see on TV or in a movie.
Are they able to go outside?
She goes outside. She's got a lot of freedom. Other than being a judge, she's got some freedom. She's got a day and she does stuff. They go outside. She's starting to take classes, college classes. She works in the kitchen. She's got jobs.
What would she, if this hadn't have happened, what would she be doing today?
She was looking at modeling and fashion and stuff like that. And we were with the barber. She was with the barber, and there was a big stink about that.
Yeah.
There was something she was going to something, or something was planned, and it was just them talking. It wasn't us going, "Hey, we're going to do." It wasn't that. God, things are blown so far out of proportion sometimes. It was just something she was involved with prior and during the accident, or during this, during her rehabilitation or whatever. So it's not a colorblind thing. It had nothing to do with remorse. It was about something she was doing already. There was plans, or there was plans, and they were just talking about it. That's all. It wasn't anything nefarious against the boys, or, oh my God, look, she's trying to be a model after all. What? She was trying to be a model prior. It was just it was the continuation of what she had already started. So
is there anything else you'd like to clear up that you think?
I can clear every little misconception out, and there'll still be the people on the internet making their own assumptions. I don't know how many podcasts I've watched that have all their information, anything, they had the gist of the.
When you watch this motherfucker, man, grab some popcorn, man. Fucking take some notes, man.
Story. There's a crash. 2 boys died. Mackenzie. Okay, but all their facts are wrong. I hear, well, she was doing this and she was doing that. There's just, unless you really delve into it and look at the transcripts and look, and you're not gonna. You can't. I don't know how people can get on and actually say, well, she did this, and she didn't. She didn't plan it. That morning, the boys woke her up. There was no fighting the whole time they were there. Even the one,
But hold on, real quick.
boy whose house he was at.
none of us know what transpired in that vehicle, in that car, right? We don't know just because they weren't fighting prior or arguing prior to this situation. We don't know what happened during the situation. It could have gotten a little bit of an argument or a disagreement, and she could have lost her shit in that vehicle. We don't know what had taken place in that vehicle.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of different casters, especially those, on TikTok. Some might not agree with me where I get my information from, but, whatever. There's a few of them that were saying that she was in the midst, allegedly, of trying to prove that she could do it, that they didn't take her seriously, and she was going to show them. This is, a few of them, a few mediums came through with this and said that, she intentionally did this.
Wow.
Just saying. Allegedly.
They even said so much. They weren't fighting. Rosie and Bubba both said they weren't fighting. There was no fighting. It wasn't, okay. My understanding is Mackenzie had her head on Dom's lap almost all night for when she was sleeping, okay. The boys got her up. They got in the car. My understanding is there's a grocer, or it was an organic, good food, kind of, local honey, good stuff, for you. And my daughter and Dom were eating healthy. So they have lockers outside. So if you buy, say, potatoes, she'll put the potatoes in the locker, give you the number, and then you can come by at any time and pick it up. It was a convenience for the customer. So it makes, now, I don't know if they were going there again for sure, because I don't know. But that would be on the route. That would be the quickest way to, and they had planned on making dinner that night or going to dinner or doing something. They were planning her birthday.
That's another contradiction. I just want to point out real quick, right? Because he's saying earlier, he's saying Dawn made her take that route to avoid the police. Now he's saying, oh, they could have just been going to get some food. Which one is it, buddy? Come on, my guy.
And they were not breaking up. For anyone to say they were breaking up, it is a lie. Yeah. It is. There's no base. It's a baseless narrative from the prosecution. It's an absolute lie, and they were never going to break up, to my dismay, mind you. I would, every time they did break up, I was happy. I was like, oh, please. Mind you, again, Dom was a gentleman over here, and he was very respectful. He was respectful at any place we went. Okay, so I mean, I don't, but again, I knew
nobody did.
He didn't have a job. He didn't have a job. He had hundreds of dollars on him at all time. We went to dinner, and he pulls out. He fanned out, more money.
You asked him, like, where'd you get that?
I knew. I know what he was doing. It must have been good. I mean, he's got the whole high school and right next to him. Again, I'm not saying that to slander Dominic. It is. It's just what it is.
Real quick. He's trying to make Dom look bad, but you're making yourself look bad, buddy, because you allegedly knew all this was allegedly taking place, but you was still okay and comfortable enough to leave your daughter there with him, to live with him, to be with him. Come on, bro. It's bullshit.
This guy's all over the place, man. He's fucking all over the place.
I don't know. Like I said, the lack of evidence and the lack of evidence that supports the judge's summation, there is none. They threw in at the last minute the cell tower pinged and you were there, so you were checking it out. Right. That's a leap. You're in the city, you're in Strongsville, and a cell tower in Strongsville in an area that you're down all the time picks up your phone, and how do you leap from, okay, you're casing this spot out? That's from a judge. That's from a sitting judge of how many years? 15, 20 years or something like that. Yeah. She's been on the bench a long time, and that came out of her mouth. You case this place out. There's absolutely no. Now, if they had a picture of her doing it, and she's over there looking, and in one of her posts, she goes, I was checking out the crash site today. Sure. Look, if you can prove to me she did it with intent, then she's right where she belongs.
That's where it comes down for me, is proving the intent. And it seems to me that the only way anybody could possibly do that in a situation is to get inside her mind, which we can never do. We can never know. Which is why I think if it had gone to a jury of 12 people,
she would have
one
never.
of those people.
She would have never got convicted. She'd be free today. She'd be going on with her life. But she'd be free. That's the truth. But to let you know that her lawyer, when asked her about a jury or bench, she asked for a jury, and he talked her out of it.
What's the benefit of a bench trial over?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to ask Jim McDonald. I mean, he clearly knows the law better than me.
Yeah.
You know, I told her to get a jury trial. You're not going to get 12 people that are going to go along with this.
What's her best chance of getting out at this point?
We're at the state level. We knew the Cuyahoga County was going to be. She was not going to get any relief from. That's just how Cuyahoga County is. You know, when we've talked about that a little bit.
You kind of have to be from Cuyahoga County to
understand. So we knew Cuyahoga County was going to railroad us, or what do you call roadblock us at every pass, and they did. You know, them changing the coroner's report from accidental to homicide was done illegally. They needed to go through a court hearing to have it done, and they didn't. The appellate court called them on it, and all they did was smack their hand. If this had been any other trial, they'd be back at trial. That'd be a mistrial, or that would be a reason to go back to trial. But not in Cuyahoga County, because Nancy Margaret Russo is blah blah blah. We're still fighting the late.
Oh yeah, you were a day late.
A day late. My lawyer, or we had a public defender at first, and we talked to him for like a minute, and he ordered the transcripts from the trial, because that's what you need, and the transcripts from the bind over. There's two different trials. One's at the juvenile level, one's the trial. Yeah. Well, when the new lawyers, Eric Nemechek, got a hold of it, all he had was the trial, so he put in for the bind over stuff, and the bind over stuff came a month later. So he thought he had a little more time. Yeah. And it was a leap year. It's almost like another perfect storm. And
who was the person to rule that it was a day late?
When they put the brief into, because it goes back to Nancy.
Yeah. Right. That's what I thought it was.
Isn't that crazy? It goes back to the judge, who's already biased.
Yeah.
Okay. She's already biased. She's biased herself. And if anyone can't see that,
she doesn't want to overrule herself.
She's not going to overrule herself. I mean, that ego must. I don't know how she walks in and out of the room with that kind of ego. It's unfortunate that a sitting judge of that long ruled that way and acted that way. Maybe it makes sense why she didn't get reelected, or on the new seat she wanted. Maybe it makes sense why the Democratic Party didn't endorse her. We've heard that there's some investigation going on about her. Who knows? But a sitting judge that long on a bench can't decipher between fact and speculation. She's either incompetent, dirty, or both. Sorry. But the things I really want to touch on, the prosecutor. Let's talk about Tim Troop. Tim Troop in the documentary. You hear him. He's on camera saying, well, we looked at everything. We turned everything over, and we looked at everything. So it's this. What do you mean you looked at everything? What exactly did you look at? How do you go from, well, we looked at all this, so if it was none of this, it has to be this.
Yeah.
That's a jump. This
is a lot of fuckery, Ronnie. A lot of fuckery. A lot of confusion.
And exactly, a lot of distractions and diversions. But you notice another poor choice of words that he had mentioned, roadblock. It's just like, bro, is he doing this shit on purpose? What the fuck?
Yeah, he's definitely he's not all there. So.
Well,
I have an expert there saying that the slipper might not have caused the accelerator to stick, but that's one guy's opinion.
That slipper! I didn't even talk about the slipper.
If I see that in an accident scene where you've got the black box data showing that the accelerator was pushed
all the way to the floor,
and then there's a slipper stuck, like, I mean,
yeah, well.
Come on.
Yeah, like I said,
So allegedly she was there awake for quite some time before the police got there. You don't think she took that shit and put it there, bro?
I just think it was all gas, no brakes. With all due respect, I think it was all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, this is a thin line between love and hate type shit.
Pedal to the metal, yeah, pedal to the floor.
It's probably, what do you call it? without a shadow of a doubt, it's a doubt. It's a plausible, realistic doubt that judge should have taken into consideration. Then again, our lawyer should have done, her lawyer, and I'm going to call my lawyer. I would never have that guy as my lawyer. That's
Whoa,
hindsight, by the way.
yo, hold on.
But
So he's good enough to represent your daughter in a murder case, but not good enough to represent you. So why would you let him represent your daughter?
This guy is out of his mind, man. He needs to stop talking.
if he would have fought for her and brought some of this stuff up, I mean, now in his defense, I'll go this way. He saw that there was nothing. They didn't have anything. And I think maybe that's what he's doing, because it's the burden of proof is on the prosecution. So he doesn't really have to say anything. You have to prove it. And I don't think, and I don't believe, and if you listen to it, that prosecutor did not prove intent. But Tim Troop in the documentary says, I looked at everything and I couldn't figure it out. So it has to be this. It's almost like the wife dies in an accident in the house and they look at everything, but it's the husband. It's a jump. It's a lazy jump.
It is a lazy.
In the detective, I don't know how that guy has his job. I don't know how he became a detective. That's my opinion. This is a lazy dude. He was in the bind over. He was on the stand, and the only time Mackenzie's lawyer was doing anything for her was when he was cross-examining him. And at some point, he goes to the detective and goes, "What do you think happened?" And he stammers, "I don't know." And I wasn't in there because I was supposed to be a witness. Me and Jim argued back and forth because I didn't like how Jim was talking and saying and doing stuff. So he kept me out of the room, so I didn't upset the cart, I guess. But if I'd have been in there, I would have shouted. Our lawyer should have turned to the judge, who's an O'Malley, who I think is a sister or a brother or a cousin to Mike O'Malley, and should have turned to that judge and said, "Motion to dismiss." How does the guy who's finding all this evidence, all this massive evidence, not speculation, evidence, not I think she did it. Oh, we believe she did it. Oh, I feel she did it. It's evidence. I don't know why he didn't turn to that judge and go, how does this guy who knows all this, who's the keeper of all the evidence, not know? So if this guy doesn't know,
that guy has doubt.
If this guy, the guy who's looking at it, doesn't know, if he doesn't know, how do you even charge somebody with any kind of thing? You don't know. You're guessing. You're making a guess. You watched CSI last night, and you're making a call off of watching CSI a couple episodes.
Yeah.
This guy's he's dangerous. This is a dangerous detective out of Strongsville. He's dangerous. Anybody, you get pulled over now in Strongsville speeding, it's attempted murder. That's the precedent they've set with this case.
How long do you think she'll be in jail?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are you preparing for a long haul? Are you very hopeful?
I'm hopeful somebody with some common sense and can look at everything. I mean, not the minutia, not the screaming people online, but look at the evidence. This, A, B, C, D, whatever, and look and subjectively look at what was presented, and look and say, look, okay. You got some black box information. The car was going fast. You can't explain the car. You can't explain the speed. The video clearly shows the brakes going on, no matter what the expert says. It's funny that it broke there and it didn't break there, or there. So if that's a safety feature for a car, I've been 100 in a car. I don't remember my car braking for me when I was going over 100.
This is why he got fucking put on leave. You're an idiot.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it is. So I don't get it. And she didn't drive directly into that building. She drove into mind you, it's apples to oranges here. She hit that sign first, and that sign veered her into that building. What would happen if she kept going straight? I don't know. They'd be all dead. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I know my daughter didn't do it on purpose. I know when my daughter lies. That was part of the documentary too. I gave a story where something happened at the school and blah blah blah. But I know when my daughter lies. It's my daughter. There's a twinkle in her eye. There's something I can tell when she's not being honest with me. She doesn't look at me. It's not it's my daughter. And if that makes me a bad parent. I'm not a bad parent. I did my best with my daughters. I try to teach them rather than punish them. This world's crazy, and there's some crazy stuff that goes on. There's some crazy people in this world. So I was doing my.
That bad parent shit, yo, plug. You gotta clip that and make that a button. Whenever we're covering these calls, bad parent. I'm a bad parent. That's him saying that. You know what I'm saying? I know he's being sarcastic, but bro, that's
Yeah,
a
good
clip.
soundbite. Good soundbite.
Sound
That's the
bite, yeah.
teacher, and I picked my battles that I felt happened. How was I ever going to stop her from smoking marijuana? My daughter should have been charged with vehicular homicide, 2 counts in juvie court, and it should have never left. The juvenile judge took out the aggravated murder thing for the same reason I'm saying they should have never charged her because there's no intent, there's no prior calculation, there's no purpose. It's not there. And again, Tim Troop can get up there and dum dum dum, Tim Troop, she did this and I feel this. It's not evidence. He can feel all he wants. It's not evidence. And I think he did it's a complete injustice to my daughter, and this has nothing to do with the boys. It's again tragic that those boys died, and she has some responsibility to it. But what that is, nobody is ever going to know, and because nobody was in that car, and there's no evidence, and there's no story, there's no paper, there's no note, there's no video. My daughter and the remorse, that's another thing that's huge. I sat with my daughter for 3 months in that room right there, 3 months, watching her watch every video, every song, every picture about that boy. There was a shrine to him in that room. Shrine. Cried herself to sleep every night.
There we go. You hear what she's saying, right? A shrine.
Yep.
Fucking shrine.
I know the trolls are going, good, she should cry herself to sleep. Ugh. She has remorse. Yeah. She was upset. If you would have heard her when she found out that Dom died, if you would have heard the sound that came out of her, it would have crushed you. She was 17. She's a dumb kid. She wasn't breaking up. She didn't do it on purpose. And I've asked her, did you do this on purpose? And she's going, no. And I would think if my daughter was that mad at that boy to want to kill him that way, Davion would have never been in the car.
Right.
That makes no sense. If she was going to do that to Dom, there were guns all over that kid's house. Okay.
Where'd the guns come from?
He bought them. I don't know. The reason I know he has guns because something was going on over there, and he took all the guns and threw them in my daughter's trunk. And I went into my daughter's trunk to get something, and in the trunk there was 10, 15 guns. Half of them were loaded. I had to. Oh my God. So that's how I know he has guns.
Again, not only is he a legend that Dom was allegedly a drug dealer and made Mackenzie mule and hold this shit and take certain routes to avoid the police, now he's saying that he knew that Dom allegedly had 10 to 15 guns, which is a big difference. That's 5 whole more guns, right? But you knew all this supposedly, but you still let her live with him, still let her be with him, still didn't have no problem with her living there, being around him. You know what I'm saying? And having them guns in her trunk allegedly, and you had no problem with that. You did, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the more he talks, the more he puts himself in a deeper hole of just fucking contradiction.
She was going to kill him.
Yeah, that
would make more sense to me, but.
And you don't involve an innocent.
Mm-hmm. So that makes no sense there. Something happened in that car. No one's ever going to know. She's innocent of the charges they put upon her. Again, should have been juvenile, vehicular homicide, 2 counts, and we would have went from there. She probably would have done some jail time.
Right. Probably be out by now.
Be out by now, or have been whatever.
How do you keep in contact her?
We can see her twice a month. We visit. It's about a 3 or 3.5 hour visit. But again, it's only twice. My wife is able to talk to her pretty much every day. Again, sorry to the people out there. It's our daughter. I love my daughter. I'm never going to stop fighting for her. Yeah. I believe she was falsely charged. Well, no one's ever going to be able to convince me unless you can put the evidence in front of me.
Would you ever do another
documentary? you're probably close to I'm going to get to being a documentary. I'm upset. I'm very disappointed in what they put out there.
Did you say anything?
Yes, we talked to them last week, and I blew my lid on them. You know,
Yeah.
they did us dirty. I don't think they were very honest with us. I think they tried.
What did they say in defense?
Well, they were saying, well, we were trying to be, unbiased and get both sides, and I don't really think they gave my daughters a fair shake at both sides. I think they sensationalized, especially with the comment about talking about my daughter, knowing my daughter's lying thing. Yeah, it had nothing to do with why she's in jail. So.
Are you looking for a job?
I don't know if I have a job yet. I'm guessing that I'm not going to. My contract's up in June, so I would hope that they'll pay me through June. They're doing some sort of investigation. I don't know how much more investigating they have to do. I know my
Is this a direct result of the documentary?
I believe it's a documentary. Yes, I believe it's from it. Clearly, a bunch of crazies from Parma calling into the diocese is more factual to them than talking to me. This could have been over in a conversation. Did you say it? I'm like, you heard me say it. Well, what did you mean by that? I go, well, we were talking. I didn't care. I don't care I don't care. It's none of my business what anybody does. I didn't care that my daughter smoked marijuana. I'm sorry.
Right.
That has nothing to do with my judgment. That has nothing.
You see how fucking stupid that sounds, bro? You see how crazy that sounds?
Yeah. And it has everything to do with his judgment. Come on, man.
This dude is obviously smoking some fucking horrible marijuana, bro.
Nothing to
Garbage.
legal, and but it has nothing to do with my art teaching. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with my kids. I don't walk into my room and go, okay, today we're going to paint a painting, and you should all do marijuana. I'm not doing that. That's got to be the biggest knee-jerk overreaction that you could ever imagine. I don't know why the school is not backing me up. That's to me, that's not very Catholic.
You're a fucking liability, my guy, and the Catholics don't deal with liabilities. If you're not fucking to scripture and moving accordingly, you're fucking out of here, my guy. That's exactly what they did. Booted your ass out.
Yep.
See you later. Sayonara.
And he just said, like, oh, I ain't saying go smoke weed, but in the documentary he was saying, I don't care who smokes weed. You smoke weed, I smoke weed, she was, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, the contradictions are crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want this guy around my kids, man. He's fucking shot.
See you
Where's the
later.
compassion, the love, the understanding that they put out to everybody? They want you to be that way, but when it comes to them, what if I was a priest?
Yeah.
If I was a priest, they'd move me to another.
So you could continue.
Yo, my guy, you just really fucking associated this with pedophilia, bro? Are you kidding me, bro? What?
Continue on, okay? So, mind you, I'm sorry the diocese acted that way. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's disappointing. It's disappointing how the documentary handled this. I think they gave the families a preview.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't offer us, which shouts loud now that they didn't want us to see it.
That would have been
Because my understanding is that the Russos didn't like a part, so they had them take it out. So they had some control of the editing, which to me is it's unfortunate. This whole thing is unfortunate, and I believe my daughter has no idea what happened. She was so beat up. She had bruises all over her face. Those airbags going off. I don't know if you've ever seen an airbag deployment online. I watched a guy with a helmet get knocked out. It hit him so hard, it knocked him out, and that could have ended why the arteries were, So I don't know. I love my daughter, and I'm never going to stop. And I will go to my deathbed, knowing she did not do what the prosecution and this possibly incompetent on the take judge did to her.
All right, that's the interview. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was illuminating. I hope maybe it changed some minds about what you think happened to the case, which is very rare. And I shouldn't bet on it, but hopefully you found it interesting. I will be back tomorrow, actually, I think, with a new episode of True Crime This Week, which comes out every Friday morning, anywhere you get your podcasts. Thanks for your time.
True Crime This Week is a Fearful Symmetry production. Photo and artwork are licensed through Shutterstock. If you like the cut of my jib, I have another podcast you might enjoy called The Philosophy of Crime. in which I attempt to solve the big questions behind our true crime obsession by looking to philosophy for answers. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week.
So
Sit,
early
Randy, sit.
early on in this podcast, I was gonna say the father's willing to die with the lie, right? That's an old school saying out here in Boston. You die with the lie, keep your mouth shut. Obviously, nothing to do with this, but old school crime shit, right? But the fact that he said he's willing to go to his deathbed defending his daughter just made me remember the fact that I almost said it earlier. I kept my mouth shut, but he's willing to die with the lie, basically. Take it to his grave.
Yeah, this was interesting, Ronnie. This was really informative in a lot of ways, man.
He's out here saying the detective just watched a few episodes of CSI, and now the detective is a detective. This is what he does. This is his career, his job. It's an educated guess to say the least, and that's an understatement. You know what I'm saying? But him saying he's just watching a few episodes of CSI is crazy. But what I do want to say is shout out to everybody in the chat. Please drop a comment and let us know what you think. We want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, no, all the way, man. Shout out to everybody that came through, showed love, stuck it out, listened to the dialogue, and really, got to see what it is for what it really is. Once again, have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay humble, but stay responsibly dangerous. Yo, Ronnie, man, got to get up out of here, man. I got to get to work in the morning. It's always a pleasure. I don't know if you want to stay up here for a little bit and kick the can a little bit, but
You already know my guy. Much respect, much love, much gratitude, much appreciation to you and everybody watching. Hit the like button if you like something. It's your guy, Blue Eyes, DVS, Stuck in the System, Scandalous Squad, YouTube Streets. And I think we should be out, man.
yeah,
Peace.
man, we out of here, man. Stay humble, but stay responsibly dangerous. Once again.
Yeah.
Pass the split. This stupid ass bitch try to crash the whip. I never wanna get in this car again. You can never heal these scars again. Pass the split. This stupid ass bitch try to crash the whip. I never wanna get in this car again. You can never heal these scars again. Papa Steve with the man, listen, yeah, Kenzie, better get your ass in that damn kitchen, cooking for the inmates, and you really need to pay attention. Yeah, you really think you gon' get out, you can keep wishing. Yeah, them bitches, once you dead, they going on a mission. She doing Kegels in the cell, yeah, she's in position. She ain't got the proper products, yeah, she smelling fishy. Them homemade dildos, yeah, they hitting different. It's okay that you gay now. I heard you doing crochet now. You on the yard from the playground. You gonna stand up or you gonna lay down? Pass the spliff. This stupid ass bitch try to crash the whip. Pass the spliff. This stupid ass bitch try to crash the whip. I'm never gonna go in this car again. This stupid ass bitch can heal these scars again. I'm smoking so much Kenzie, I'm in Mars again. I'm never gonna get involved again. This little ass bitch won't evolve in the end. She will never ever drive a car again. Her parents gonna be long and gone by then.
What are you doing? You need to get away from me. You need to get away from me. I'm calling the police.
The fuck?
Yeah. Yo, Kenzie, this your last ride. Yo, Kenzie, this your last ride. You can't run, you can't hide. Yo, Kenzie, this your last ride. Yo, Kenzie, this your last. You can't run, you can't hide. Yo, Kenzie, this your last ride. Yo, Kenzie, this your last. Boy, you, even them crash. You teasing that Yoda just like a Benz. You give this bitch a second chance, I swear she'll do it again. Yo, put her in the water in prison with them sharks if she can swim. I think she is a mean girl in the pen, she ain't got real friends. Put her in the cell with Sarah Boone, she's gonna break and bend. Yo, Sarah Boone, put you in a suitcase, now your life gon' end. They done raped your ass, tied you up and then taped your ass. Put you on the screen, yeah, they taped your ass. 2 bitches done ate your ass. Ooh, cause y'all ain't got nothing to do. Yeah, you should've never did voodoo. They ran a chain just like choo-choo. Now you crying just like boo-hoo. All them kites they send them through. I know you want K2. All your friends said they gay too. All your friends, they gay too. This bitch won't see outside till the year 2035. You can't run, you can't hide, that's your last ride. I know some bitches that gon' pull up and they slide, but I know some dudes that won't do shit, yet look at hide. Danny Masterson's in prison, living the best life.